Hello and welcome to my recording on movie audio commentary with um, Chucky Child's Play. This is the fourth version of the film. It's with Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif and I don't know what's that actor's name, but he now I remember the name he played is Jesse and Jay Kincaid's. So, Andy Barkley wasn't in this situation. So, before we say the story of what happened in this movie before the incident with Jennifer Tilly, before what happened with Jaden, Jesse. So, well, after the um massacre in number Child's Play 3, Andy was at the police station doing this predicament of part 4 of Bride of Chucky. So, um, after Andy got arrested, both of the military school, all the troops were heading back to the base and to the campgrounds and contact the sergeant. And then, while Andy went on his separate ways, when Andy got to um, the when he went to prison. So after that, when Andy was arrested from the cops at the fair, Andy stayed at the prison, and then somehow the um, Andy had a visitor, and that was Kyle. So during this Bride of Chucky, when Andy was in uh, jail, um, Andy had visitors coming into the prison. So I think Kyle Simpson was visiting Andy at the police station. So um, when Andy came to um, when Kyle came to visit Andy at the police station, Kyle was explaining so who was going after Chucky. So, well, in number 4 at the end, when Kristen was being held to the ambulance, when the both of the military school students got hurt, Whitehurst and um, what's the sergeant? What's his name? I forget his name. What's the sergeant's name? Uh, Not Butlook. Sergeant Rollins and Colonel Shelton. Yeah, Sergeant Shelton. So, um, when the rest of the guys went back to the Kent Military School base, uh, both um, um, Andy went to the police station when he got arrested from the police, from the cops, from the popo. So, um, if we can get the story straight, hang on, let me think. So, when Kyle visited Andy at the police station doing this Bride of Chucky Part 4, um, Kyle was explaining to Andy um, how he got to this prison and cell in predicament. So while Kyle was explaining to Andy on the police phone at the police station at the visiting place, at the visitors place at the police station. So both Kyle and Andy explain to um, what happened to um, Chucky. So Kyle was explaining to Chucky. Kyle was explaining to Andy Barkley. So that Andy said that the dog Chucky was going after another kid, um, Tyler. So um, when Kyle in this movie of Charles Play 4, heading um, Charles Play 4 with Andy, Andy he um, after when Bale. I'm going on the story before what happened with before Chucky married Tiffany, because when did we make this movie, the Child's Play series, from the first one to the second one to the third one, until this fourth one, they add Tiffany first when they're supposed to do, because when you do a movie sequel, you wanna do a follow up, like how Nightmare on Elm Street did, like how Friday the 13th did, like how The Hills Have Eyes, um like Leatherface, with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and um, some other great horror films of the 80s. So it's before what they should have done, since they following up on the story of Andy Barkley in the first three of the Chucky films, and the fourth one could have continued on. So um, in in this movie here, before they put Jennifer Tilly and the situation with Jade and Jesse, so what this should have started off is the continuation on the Andy Barkley story, S- and then um, they could have rolled over to starting with a new story with Tiffany and um, Jesse and Jade's situation on this film of Child's Play. So we're heading back to the continuation of number three before this part of the sequel came out of Chucky. So in after when Eddie got released from the prison doing this movie, um, he started to move up on his own, and then he left. Got Andy stayed with Kyle for a while, I bet. So when Bale Andy out of that police station for Bale, um, Andy stayed with Kyle for a few days. Then, well, the mother of Mrs. Karen Barkley still getting evaluated for the situation on the still getting psychiatric care of what happened with the doll, the Chucky doll, and how did Charles Lee Way Charles Lee Ray got shoot in the doll, got his body, human spirit, soul dormant inside the doll. So what I'm trying to understand is about the series of Child's Play is we're trying to get the whole truth of the story and getting to understand what really happened before they added the main actors to the film. So of the on the fourth and fifth of the Child's Place series, the first five original. We're not talking about Curse and Cult because that doesn't follow the original series of the Child's Play franchise. So in in this one here, so now we got the part with Andy solved Barkley. So we're talking about Mrs. Barkley now. Okay, doing the fourth installment of this film, Bride of Chucky. So what I really don't get is what happened, what was on the next part of Andy's mother being in the situation uh, with Chucky and explaining on what happened to um, and the doctors of the psychiatric hospital that Karen Barkley's in. What they're trying to get Karen Barkley to understand is how the doll got, how did the doll, I mean, how did Charles Lee Ray's soul got dormant into the doll on the toys. So, um, Karen Barkley was telling the truth, but the doctors at the hospital keep pushing the issue that they think she's nuts when she's not. So in my situation of this Child's Play franchise with Mrs. Barkley being in the psychiatric care, um, she's telling the truth on what Andy did, on what Andy was talking about, that Chucky is Charles Lee Ray. And the doctors of the psychiatric hospital, I bet, is trying to convince her that she's crazy over the doll. But she's not. She's telling the truth because she knows that um Andy Barkley got um how did the Chucky doll got possessed by the soul of Charles Lee Ray. So and the doctors will just keep pushing the issue to Mrs. Barkley. So that's in this fourth installment. Um, they should continue on with Andy Barkley's situation first, and then putting Tiffany, Jesse, and Jade into their story of this film. So now that we got that covered, because this is how the story is supposed to be played out. They're not supposed to be adding Tiffany, Jennifer Taylor first. They're supposed to continue on from the Andy Barkley story, but no, they put it. These guys, so they did it backwards. So now we get into the main part of the movie, is that uh, we went to 15 minutes of this commentary. And the thing about movie commentary is that one, um, mostly it's the director on the DVD that does the commentary of this film. And we also have a writer, producer, and some actors too. Um, well, it's only the main actor does the commentary of this film, and that's Brad Dourif. He's the one act on One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest with Jack Nicholson. Um, that year, the movie this release came out in 2006. 2003 or 2006, this movie came out. Same year as Freddy vs. Jason got released. And um, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and and The Hills of Eyes 1 and 2. So, and oh yeah, the Ram Zombie film of Devil's Reject got released that year. I think so. So, um, uh, so we continue on the story. So this is the main part of this is a new story takeover of this movie. Um, I mean, the stars in this film is one of the best and quite knowing actors of all time. We're talking about I don't know who this actor is, but he plays as Jesse. He looks like a little bit like Nick Lachey in 98 Degrees, but just the look of the shape of the face, but not the eyes and the lips and all that. So and the hair. So um, this actor that plays as Jesse and Jade Kincaid and um and the mother. So but Jade's mother, I don't know what happened, but uh, when you listen to the DVD of Chucky, of Bride of Chucky, they will explain on what happened during the film, and only know half of this commentary. Okay, um, so um, when so Jane's mother, I think she got killed by Chucky too. So doing before the incident with before Jade met with Jesse, and then they got married, and then they got kids. So I don't know what they would name their kids. So because Jade had the Kincaid name, but Jesse didn't. So it wasn't actually they was married, but they named him Kincaid. So Jesse Kincaid and Jade Kincaid. So um, and this is the next part of the commentary. Um, so so we're gonna continue on with the Andy Barkley scandal because before they went edit Jennifer Tilly and their son and Jesse and Jade, Catherine Hagel and just didn't what they should have done. The reason why the movie's so short, they forgot to put the extra scenes from number 3. Um, so in part 4 of this one's Chucky is supposed to go after Tyler because um because and then in part 5 they shouldn't put Bride of Chucky. Then number 6 could have been The Seed of Chucky, and number 7 could have been The Curse of Chucky, and number 8 could have been The Cult. Because see, when you make a sequel, you gotta make sure it matches all the way every single storyline goes through. So, of the first 4 of the Child's Play series should have been all Andy Barkley. Not one Andy Barkley storyline, not 2, not, let me think. Number 1 was it the Andy Barkley scandal, number 2, number 3. Number 4 should have continued on. So, in number 4, before Chuck, in this one, shouldn't just, this one shouldn't have called Bride of Chucky. What they shouldn't name it is Child's Play 4, Chucky's Revenge. Like Freddy's Revenge, like in part 2 with Jesse Walsh, So so it shouldn't put Bride of Chucky shouldn't have been like in the 5th and or or 6 part of the film. So um, in this one, they should have called Child's Play 4: The Revenge of Chucky. So, or Chucky's Revenge. Um, so after Andy Barclay got with Andy Barclay's situation in number 4 of this one, should have followed with Tyler. So Tyler was the next child victim that Chucky was going after, because Tyler's parents was in the army. His father was defending jets in the country, and Tyler was the next kid victim to go against Chucky. So when Chucky was going after Tyler, Chucky wanted to take Tyler's soul. So Tyler must have been like 5 or 6 ish or 7 ish or whatever. It was around like maybe right now. Tyler would have been, if Tyler was in the sequel in part 4 of Child's Play, um, it would have been like around Andy's age, about 7 or 8 or 6. So um, when Chucky was going after Tyler in this sequel, now we're going back to the beginning, to the follow up of the Child's Play series, because before they do it with Tiffany and Jesse and Jade and all this. So the movie for this part 4 will be a bit like 2 hours longer. So then they would like add Jesse and Jade at the mid section of the film. So and in part 5 will be continue on with Jesse and Jade again. Um so so Charles so Child's Play 4 should have been Bride of Chucky. It should have been Child's Play 4: Chucky's Revenge, because Chucky was still going after Tyler yet. And then look, they screw up the whole film, and they add Jennifer Tilly and Catherine Hegel, and the one that plays Jade, and that one screw up the whole storyline, because Chucky was going after Tyler. So they shouldn't continue on with not Bride of Chucky, but it should have just called Child's Play 4: Chucky's Revenge. So and then part 5 could have been Bride of Chucky. Then 6 could have been Seed of Chucky. 7 could have been Curse, and 8 could have been Cult. So we would have 8 films if they never do the story, if they never change the actors in the movie of the franchise. So, and that's how you make a film sequel. But look at Freddy, look at Jason. They didn't follow up on the film. They never miss a part, because part 1 was the girl all the way. The Christies, all the way from 2 to 3 was Tommy Jarvis. Look, Andy Barclay could have gone all the way. So that's how they could have made the storyline. But hey, they're the one making it. They put it their way, It's their movie, so they don't want to do it. So anyway, we went to 30 minutes with this audio commentary. We're almost done. We get 5 minutes more. So Now we're getting to the Jesse and Jade part. Since they would screw it all up, when part four could have just called Child's Play 4 Chucky's Revenge, and then when five come out, they should have called Bride of Chucky. Then six could have been Seed of Chucky. Then seven could have been um, Curse. Then eight could have been Cult. So the story would have been better if they never add in this one Jennifer Tilly, Catherine Hagel, and this actor right here that looked like Nick Lachey in 98 Degrees. So um, um, so they could have continued on with the storyline. They would have 8 Chucky films if they never do it right. So now, but that's how they make movies. They do it their own way. So you just gotta go with it. So now we on the situation with Jesse and Jane here on this scene. They're gonna find out who's murdered these guys, and these guys are gonna get killed by Chucky, and then but Chucky's not gonna do the killing. I mean, um, Tiffany is the one that killed these two idiots here that's on their honeymoon. So that's like the last kills of the Chucky film. Um, so this one is gonna follow up in number five too. When number five came out, this Curse of Chucky. So how number five went is that okay? Um, that the baby that when the ending part of this one, where Chucky got uh, when Chucky got killed at the end of this one, in number five, who was Glenn? So in this one, when Tiffany got pregnant to Glenn, and we're not talking about Glenn Chervin in the movie The Ringer now. Um, when Glenn got when Tiffany got pregnant with Glenn in the ending part of Bride of Chucky, Glenn was a baby boy, so he when Tiffany was dead at the end of this film, um, the baby of Glenn got transferred to the some kind of orphanage of the family, and he was an orphan. He got transferred, and Glenn was he's not actually a boy, but he was more like a woman or a man, or something like that. So yeah, and well, that concludes this commentary. And if you want to watch this movie, Chucky, you can get the DVD. This is the torrent version. This is not the deluxe edition of this film. This is like the 20th anniversary edition collectors of Chucky, because that year this released version of Chucky came out in 2002, because that time didn't have Curse of Chucky and Cult, because it didn't follow since 1988 of the first Child's Play in the series. So yep, this concludes this commentary. And the thing about movie commentary is that one movie actor or director and producer so ask about the film. Every movie that you watch, an actor or director or writer will ask questions about the film. You listen to the commentary real good, and then they will explain on what's happening in the movie and where did the story took place, and as I said before, why all the films wasn't released in theaters because um, 6 and 7 they didn't make much $1 million because it was everything. So anyway, forget about that already. So thank you for listening to this commentary. And if you want to watch Chucky, you can download the digital version, digital copy of iTunes. You can get the DVD or Blu-ray on DVD, or you can go to Amazon Prime and get the movie and download the movie on iTunes and watch it on Apple TV or Roku or any of your home devices. So thank you to listen to this commentary of this film, Chucky, and hope you enjoy the movie and get the DVD, eat some popcorn, and ahui ho, malama pono.